Have you ever witnessed injustice and felt your throat close, your voice locked behind your teeth, not because you don't see the wrong, but because you don't believe the world will listen even if you scream? This story begins with that silence. A silence heavy, breathless, uncomfortable. A silence that lives inside institutions, inside history, inside people who look away when truth feels too loud. This is the story of Ariel Johnson, 19 years old, a freshman stepping onto a campus built long before her. Built for boys with last names carved into stone, not for girls like her whose history was carved into skin. She arrived with a heart full of ambition and feet light with pride, the first in her family to attend a predominantly white university. To step through doors her grandmother once could not. The buildings were tall, ancient, echoing with tradition, polished with money and legacy. She felt small, but she felt worthy. She carried her ancestors with her. She carried her mother's sacrifices, her father's prayers, her grandmother's stories of marching, surviving, enduring. She believed this place would change her life. Instead, it would test it. The first days were bright. Naive, even she took pictures of dorm walls, laughed with new roommates, mapped out her dreams like pinned stars. But excitement has a way of fading when the air around you grows cold. When you notice the stares, not admiring, not curious, but dissecting. When whispers follow you like unwelcome shadows. In classrooms, professors smiled like she was novelty. "You speak so well," they said, with surprise simmering under the words as though academic excellence was not expected from a black girl. She felt herself shrinking, folding inward, questioning everything she earned. Then came Ethan Wallace, eyes full of entitlement, voice dripping with casual superiority, the kind of arrogance money breeds. His father's name was on the library wall. His grandfather funded the science wing. He walked through campus like the ground owed him gratitude. He saw Ariel not as equal, not as peer, but as intrusion. The first time he spoke to her, it was a subtle jab about her hair. The second time, her scholarship. The third time, her voice. Little things, easy to dismiss, but poison still stings even when injected quietly. He laughed when she answered questions correctly. Loud, mocking, performative. He talked over her in group projects, called her aggressive when she defended herself. Still, students looked away. Still, teachers smiled politely. Still, Ariel swallowed her anger because society teaches black girls early that speaking too loud becomes threat. The humiliation escalated. One day, in front of a class, Ethan mimicked her speech, exaggerated her tone, mocked her intelligence. Laughter rippled across desks. No one stopped him. No one stood for her. And Ariel felt something inside her crack, not break. Not yet, but crack like glass under pressure. One more blow away from shattering. Harassment grew teeth. Ethan began cornering her in hallways with smirks sharp as knives. Rumors spread like wildfire, lies crafted with precision to stain her reputation. Late-night messages appeared on her phone from unknown numbers. Someone edited a video of her speaking in class, chopped sentences until she sounded foolish. It went viral in student group chats. Her name became punchline. Ariel stopped sleeping. Afraid of mornings, afraid of classrooms, afraid of walking through campus where eyes felt like targets. She felt like she was drowning in air. She reported him once. The faculty shrugged, no clear evidence. She reported him again. Administration said she was overreacting, emotional, maybe imagining malice. Kids will be kids, they said. There's no need to escalate. The irony, her quiet was the problem, not his abuse. Systems protect those who built them, not those fighting to survive them. Security stopped her more than him. Asked for ID, asked where she was going, asked why she was in her own dorm building. Meanwhile, Ethan passed freely, smiling like he owned the sun. When she argued with him one afternoon, after he blocked her path and taunted her existence, he secretly recorded the exchange, edited the clip, posted it online, made her look violent when all she did was defend breath, dignity, humanity. The university summoned her, threatened probation. They didn't summon him. At that moment, Ariel broke. But sometimes breaking is the first step to rebuilding with stronger bones. She called her grandmother, the woman whose hands still shake with memories of segregation, who marched until feet bled, who tasted tear gas in the fight for dignity. Over the phone, her grandmother's voice trembled with both pain and pride. She told Ariel stories of being told to sit at the back, of teachers who flinched at her skin, of opportunities snatched away because the world decided she didn't deserve them. She spoke of friends arrested simply for wanting equality, of dreams buried because society built walls no black girl was meant to climb. Arielle listened, heart heavy, lungs tight. She realized she was not alone in this struggle. She was continuation. She was living chapter in centuries-long book. The racism wasn't new, it was inherited, modernized, polished, until people called it policy instead of bigotry. She realized she wasn't fighting just Ethan, she was fighting a system that believed people like him belonged and people like her merely intruded. Fear slowly transformed into fire. Pain became purpose. Silence became strategy. She documented everything: screenshots, messages, time-stamped videos, email threads ignored by faculty. She kept a journal describing each incident in detail. She gathered witness statements quietly, from students who finally found courage to admit what they saw. She became her own lawyer, her own advocate, her own army. Then she filed an official complaint. Not soft, not meek, not begging for fairness. She demanded it. It wasn't just a report, it was a record. A mirror held to a university that pretended equality while practicing neglect. She reached out to student activists, black unions, cultural groups. The story spread through campus like thunder rolling before storm. Whispers became conversation. Conversation became outrage. Students began asking questions administration feared. Faculty who once stayed silent now leaned closer, uneasy with guilt. Even donors began pulling strings, the kind of pressure institutions never ignored. Ethan felt it. His privilege, for the first time, trembled. A hearing was scheduled. The air tightened. The university hoped it would be quiet, contained, quickly forgotten. They underestimated the girl they tried to silence. The room filled with students, reporters, professors, voices waiting for truth. Ariel walked in not as victim but as witness, survivor, warrior forged by struggle. She placed her evidence on the table like history laying claim. Screens lit up with messages, threats, insults, mocking videos. Witnesses stood, one by one, like dominoes tipped by courage. Ethan shifted in his seat, the mask slipping, confidence drained, arrogance dissolving. The committee read evidence. They questioned him. He stuttered, deflected, blamed her. But facts have weight. Proof has gravity. Truth, once spoken aloud, refuses to shrink. And then the verdict. Suspended, expelled, privileges gone. Power revoked. No applause. No celebration. Justice isn't fireworks, it's correction. It's acknowledgement. It's wound closing after long bleeding. Graduation day arrived like sunrise after endless night. Ariel stood in cap and gown, back straight, eyes forward. The crowd gathered, students, faculty, activists, strangers, inspired by strength. She stepped to podium. The courtyard fell silent. The same silence that once suffocated her now listened. Her voice carried across campus like wind, remembering old songs. She spoke of pain, resilience, history. She spoke of her grandmother, of every black student who swallowed humiliation to survive. She spoke of a world slow to change, but moved by courage. She said, "This victory is not mine alone. It belongs to every voice denied, every dream delayed, every ancestor who fought without seeing the finish line." Her words were seed and storm. They planted something in hearts: anger, awareness, awakening. Racism didn't end here. It never ends with one battle. But fear lost its throne. Silence lost its power. Ariel stayed at the university. She earned her degree. She became what she was never expected to be. She mentored others who faced what she faced. She stood beside them, spoke for them until they learned to speak for themselves. And when she left campus, she didn't just leave with diploma. She left legacy. Because injustice is not defeated by silence. It is fed by silence, sustained by silence, strengthened by silence.